Beecam project. So I want, this sounds really cool. And so I want to hear about this. What is it? Where did you get the idea? And what's the purpose?
Okay. So the idea came, I hate to say it, from being a nerd, right? So,
own it. Just own it.
Own it. So I wanted to see inside of a hive and see a working hive under conditions all day and night. And I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
I absolutely couldn't
Which
find
is surprising, actually, because you've got like the
Yeah.
peregrine falcon cams. We do that with other species. So you would think that would already be out there.
Not out there whatsoever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
luckily, technology to the rescue. Technology has these, the Raspberry Pis and the Arduinos and programmables that happen to have camera systems with it, happen to have infrared lighting systems. But I started working with some engineers, and the first thing they said is, well, that's electromechanical waves, which affects the bees.
Right. We just talked about how that's one of their navigational.
Yep. And then the next thing they said, and what is the spectrum for those IR lights, and where is the B spectrum? So the engineers started working on shielding mechanisms and changing the frequencies, the nanometers of these IR lights, what would work with the cameras.
Wow.
Well, in this time frame, when the two engineers I'm working with were playing with this, I found a paper from this Professor Greg at University of London, so all the way across the pond, right? And it was about the effects of infrared on bees, on honeybees.
Wow.
It was a diamond in the rough. So 2014, the paper was released. I pinged him. He's still teaching.
Great.
And he got back to me with some preliminary information, some other white papers, some limited opinion. And once the engineers had done with the Beecam, he said, I'll give you a full opinion on how it will affect. Turns out infrared light is actually really good for the bees.
Why is it good for them?
He said it reduces the chance of disease.
Oh, interesting.
Right. But what we have to do is we have to find out, that was 15-minute exposures at a certain frequency. We've got to find out what longer term is going to look like. So what's happening right now is the engineers should actually be done with the prototypes in probably a month and a half to 2 months. I'm going to get an opinion rendered by the professional here, and we're going to install it in one of the hives.
In one of your hives.
In one of the hives.
Yep.
The cool thing is it's not like you flip it on and all the bees die if it's bad.
Right.
What they'll do is they'll say, this hive sucks.
And they'll start to head out.
And they'll head out, right? So I'm not going to kill the hive, even if we do something we're not supposed to, which might be why there's no bee camps. But I may lose a hive if it turns out it messes with them too much.
Yeah. And then can you do something to mitigate that? Can you have another hive standing by that they'll just head over to that, or it doesn't work that way?
It does and it doesn't. So we have multiple hives always in case you lose one, right? Because again, the other will grow, you can split it and you can go back to multiples.
Right.
But many times when a bee colonies swarm, they swarm to a branch that's within your yard. So
they don't go too
hopefully
far.
You'll get lucky.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And let me say before I forget, the URL for that is going to be happybeecam.com, but it's not live yet. Yeah, exactly. The happy is you're optimistic, cautiously optimistic.